All right, it is the evening weather briefing for Wednesday, the 1st of October, and this is the evening edition. I am Josh Brown. I hope that you all had a great Wednesday. And I have to say, most places have stayed mostly dry today, but there are some coastal showers out there as we're closing out our day here for parts of the east coast of Florida, which I'll have more details on the radar here in just 1 second. But the increasing moisture coming in from the Gulf in the Atlantic regions means we could see some increasing rain chances as we head into late week and into the upcoming weekend, which I'll time it out with the latest models in just a few moments, along with an update on the tropics. But let's go ahead and get to the radar and see who's seeing some of these leftover, or I should say, lingering coastal showers tonight. And it's basically right along the coast of Volusia and Brevard counties, as you can see here on radar. And we'll go in for a closer view. First off to Daytona Beach. And it looks like the shower is actually impacting areas right on top of Interstate 95 near LPGA Boulevard. That's the exit there over towards Daytona. And it looks like we have showers also on top of Williamson Boulevard, North Clive Morrison Boulevard, the Preserve at Daytona. And it looks like we have more showers over here just on the coast of Ortona. And that is right along A1A. And also some other streets near that area too. It looks like it's impacted by this shower as well. But they're spotty in nature, so they're moving pretty quickly. We'll say if I turn the loop on to the northeast and southwest, we'll say at about 40 to 45 miles per hour. And it looks like the activity will continue for a little bit longer, but I think that should be winding down by midnight. We also have a few more showers over here in parts of northern Brevard County, and that's impacting areas like Scottsmore, which is right along Highway 1, and also another batch over here just a bit south that we'll say close to the Titusville community, but right along Interstate 95. And that is right on top of 407 and the 528 Beachline Expressway. And that's also on top of Canaveral Acres down towards Indianola, Merritt Island, and the Rockledge communities. And we have some coastal showers over here too. That is just offshore from Melbourne, but it looks like the area could get hit by some quick-moving rain showers here pretty soon if it holds together. And the same goes for Satellite Beach. But other spots across Central Florida is looking quiet out there to close out our Wednesday. So I think the better chances to see some of that coastal activity here, that's the showers I'm referencing to, will be along again or offshore from Volusia and Brevard counties. But again, the activity should be winding down by midnight. So we'll get back to the radar here in just a little bit later, but let's go ahead and switch over to the satellite view and check out what's happening tropical-wise out in the Atlantic. Let me go ahead and turn on the name storms. Alrighty. So the big story here over the last few days is Amilda, and the good news is this storm is still pushing away from the United States, but it looks like it's bringing some increasing or significant impacts rather for Bermuda, as the storm is now making landfall as of tonight as a Cat 2 hurricane with winds picking up as high as 100 miles an hour, and it's moving quickly due to the east northeast at about 25 miles per hour with about a 971 millibar pressure low. But it looks like the center of the storm will start to move off from the coast of Bermuda, we'll say by 2 in the morning, but still the impacts will continue. And it appears it will start to move away from Bermuda itself heading into the afternoon on your Thursday as we'll start to downgrade to a Cat 1 storm. And then the same also continues as it makes a left turn to the north and northeast before it downgrades into a tropical storm as it enters the North Atlantic waters, the cooler North Atlantic waters, that is, as we head into late Thursday on into Friday and Saturday. And of course, just north of Familda is what was known as Humberto, and it looks like it's still producing a pretty nasty storm over here. But it looks like that will be moving. Let me play the loop here. It looks like also to the north and northeast, we'll say at about 15 to 20, if not maybe higher than that. Just depends how fast or slow the storm is going. As you can see here, Humberto is still close to Amilda, also known as the Fujiwara effect, because you can see the storm is about 800 miles apart. And as you can see here, there's also a new tropical wave that is located just off of the west coast of Africa, as you can see here on the latest satellite view. And it looks like it is expected to move off the coast of Africa over the next day or so. Thereafter, this wave is forecast to interact with another disturbance along the eastern tropical Atlantic, and some slow development of the combined future is possible as the system moves westward to the west northwest at about 15 to 20. So it looks like as of right now, the system is given about a 20% chance of formation within the next 5 to 7 days. And so far, it is unknown at this point if this is going to be an issue for the Caribbean or for the United States, including here in Florida. So that's something we'll be keeping an eye out here in the next coming days, if not within a week or so. So I'll keep you guys posted. And again, this is still hurricane season, so please understand that the tropics will continue to be around the Atlantic and the Caribbean and the Gulf Coast regions as we head into the rest of the month and perhaps possibly into November. But the active part of the season starts to wind down by the middle part of the month, but the official ending of the season is not until November 30th. So we still got a little bit of long ways to go until the season comes to an end. So, but like I said, the good news is tropics this year have not been quite as busy than it was last year. So let's hope it stays that way. But again, we still got to keep a close eye on it before the season is said and done. Okay. So let me go ahead and turn off the tropical satellite. Switch back to radar. Let me go ahead and turn off the tropical icons. And again, here's another closer view back to home across central Florida. And like I mentioned before, most of our area is dry, but again, the exception is for the East Coast, where there are some coastal showers still happening. Again, for example, pushing away from Daytona Beach, with another batch coming in towards the area, but this is on top of Holly Hill. And we still have more activity here just farther south you go towards northern Brevard County, affecting the Scottsmore community. And the same also about to exit out of Brevard, about to enter to the Orange County line. This is basically just on top of 528 near Jim Creek Swamp. And then we also have more showers over here, but a little bit heavier just offshore from Brevard County, but it looks like that could move inland here shortly too, if this holds together. And like I mentioned just moments ago, the activity for the East Coast or off the coast of Florida will continue again for a little bit longer, but that should be winding down by midnight. But other than that, most of our inland locations across the area will stay dry as we finish out the first day of October. So there you have it. So let's check out the temperatures this evening. And sure enough, it's still quite mild out there as we're closing out our day with numbers sitting anywhere from the low to mid 70s, with temperatures south a little bit warmer in the upper 70s and lower 80s from Tampa down into the Fort Lauderdale areas. And it looks like temperatures up north are looking to be a little cooler, where there are some upper 60s and low 70s for the eastern side of Alabama on into most of Georgia and portions of South Carolina. So let's go ahead and switch on over to the Hurl model, which does take you through the next 18 hours. And before we get to that, if you're just coming on into this live broadcast, again, I don't mind if you could share this with your friends, families, followers, etc. And you know my motto, and that is sharing is caring. And before we get to the rest of our update, I'm going to go ahead and share this feed to a few other Facebook group pages. So just give me just a few more minutes, and we'll move on. Okay. All right. Sorry about that again, folks. Okie dokie. So here's a look at the latest term model as we head into the rest of our night and on into, we'll say, the first half of Thursday. And yet, these coastal showers will continue, but it looks like that may start to remain as we head past midnight, according to the latest trend here. And I wouldn't be surprised if we do see some activity to linger also by daybreak on Thursday. It shows better chances for showers and storms up in our northern counties, affecting places like New Smyrna Beach, Daytona, Sanford, and the Ormond Beach areas. And it looks like there might be some activity also pushing a little south into Orange, Osceola, and Brevard counties here by 11 o'clock. And then remaining throughout most of the day on your Thursday, so that includes the afternoon, but shifting a little west into around close to the Spring Hill area. So again, better chances of rain will start tomorrow thanks to all this deep tropical moisture coming in from both the Gulf and the Atlantic regions. And it looks like we may bump up the coverage at around 60 to a 70%. So we'll look at the NAM model here in just a moment and show you how the rain chances will play out as we head into the next few days. But let's get to temperatures next up on the latest NAM, or not NAM, the HER model. And it appears we'll see low temperatures as we head into the overnight into daybreak on Thursday, yet looking just to be pretty mild. So basically, we're talking low temperatures beginning in the low to mid 70s around the area, with a bit of a cooling trend to start off the day in the Mississippi Valley, probably with another front moving in, as low temperatures could begin as cool as the 50s and into the low, if not mid 60s, in the Mississippi Valley, and that could clip down into portions of the Panhandle, such as the Pensacola area, as Thursday morning yet progresses. And then by the afternoon, we'll see temperatures pretty much. I think we'll see numbers before the rain develops around the low to mid 80s, that so to speak, with perhaps numbers starting to drop in the 70s once the rain begins right here in central Florida. And it looks like temperatures will be a little bit warmer up north, where numbers could range anywhere from the 70s and into the mid, if not upper 80s, for I-10 and north, as you can see on the latest HER model run. But let's switch over to the NAM, which does take you through the next couple of days. And yet we'll see more showers and thunderstorms remain here for the rest of the evening on Thursday, with better chances yet along Interstate 95 from Flagler County down into Brevard and Osceola counties. And yet still the activity remains for the overnight late Thursday on into early Friday morning. So yet umbrellas could be needed, not just for Thursday, but heading into the morning hours of Friday. And again, just give yourselves plenty of time as you drive to work on those wet streets, and even as the kiddos head to the bus stop for school. And that's the rain ponchos that they will need. And it looks like we'll see the rain remain on and off during the afternoon hours of Friday. Yeah, keeping the chances here at about 50%, maybe 60% as well. And yet the lingering activities should be around as we head into the overnight late Friday on into early Saturday too. Yet it'll be spotty at times from Jacksonville down south to go towards coastal Brevard counties. So basically, we're talking about anywhere from around 4 to 6 inches in 2 days, especially down here in Brevard County, and that includes areas like near, we'll say, a little south of Titusville down into Melbourne, Cocoa Beach down towards the Palm Bay and the Mico areas, with other places seeing around 1 to 3 inches from Jacksonville down south into Volusia County, especially as far as Daytona Beach, with less totals here a bit west here from Orlando over towards Ocala, the Villages, and the Clermont areas. So let's go ahead and talk temperatures heading into the next few days with the latest NAM. And yet, as we fast forward into Thursday evening, we'll see temperatures yet remain mild in the 70s across central Florida, with perhaps a little warmer up north, where temperatures may end in the upper 70s and low 80s for the western side of Alabama on into central and southern sections of Mississippi, and the same thing down here in the deep southern part of the Sunshine State. And then making our way into the overnight late Thursday on into early Friday shows yet another mild start with low temperatures, yet this time in the low 70s across central Florida. And temperatures up north will turn out to be significantly cooler to begin with some 50s and 60s for Interstate 10 and north around the Mississippi Valley. And then by the afternoon, yet with these on and off showers and thunderstorms, that will keep temperatures yet running close, we'll say slightly below average in the 70s and into the low, and for some in the mid to upper 80s, especially if you live along the west coast side of the state from Spring Hill down into near the Marco Island and the Fort Myers communities. And it seems that the fall-like weather will be remaining for the valley as numbers will range yet from the 70s and into the lower 80s with low humidity levels in the yet the Mississippi Valley region if you're looking for that. And then fast forwarding into the overnight portion of late Friday on into early Saturday morning. Yet we'll start off with low temperatures yet in the upper 60s and low 70s. So it's a little bit of a cooling start that is for most of our area, and a bit warmer towards the east coast where temperatures may begin in the upper 70s. But if you need some significant cool numbers, you'll have to go up north because it appears that lows may begin in the low to mid 60s in the Mississippi Valley itself. So that's the NAM. So let's go ahead and check the GFS as we head into the next couple of weeks. And yet, more rain is on the way heading into the first weekend of the month, and it seems the better chances, again, will be mostly along the east side of the peninsula, with some rain becoming a bit heavier at times, thanks to all this big, deep moisture coming in from the Atlantic region. But if you need some dry weather, it looks like the Mississippi Valley and the Panhandle looks to be the best place to go. And checking out the high temperatures on Saturday, and due to all this rain moving in, we're going to keep temperatures yet a little bit below average in the 70s and into the lower 80s, with temperatures slightly warmer in the low 80s to perhaps for some in the middle 80s, including places like Destin, Panama City, Tallahassee, and perhaps up around the Valdosta, Georgia area or a little west of there. So And of course, if you do have some big plans outdoors on Saturday, again, the best thing to do, as my recommendation, is to take the rain gear handy. But it's not going to rain all day long, so just do keep that in mind. We're talking just an on and off type activity. And also, the other concern here for the beaches heading into the next several days is the significant rip currents, both along the east and the west coast side of Florida. So please be mindful of that. And my other recommendation is to avoid being out on the waters if you possibly can. All right, now moving into the day on Sunday, October 5th. And yet more wet weather continues here for the Sunshine State, and some of that moisture may start to bring some better chances for showers and thunderstorms for the southeast part of Georgia and near the coastline of Charleston, as you can see here on the latest GFS trend. And it looks like we'll see temperatures start to warm up a little bit, but around close to average in the upper 80s and low 90s for Orange County and points south. And it looks like temperatures will start to drop a little bit on the cool side, but mild in the upper 70s and into the low, if not mid 80s, for Interstate 10 and north towards Georgia and Alabama. Now, moving ahead into Monday of next week, October 6th, and yet more and more wet weather continues, not just for here in Florida, but also this time moving into the Mississippi Valley region. But we still think the better chances will be here, as the coverage will increase as high as 70 to an 80% coverage. And some of that rain could be heavy at times locally, too, especially from Volusia County down south towards Dade, and also the same up here towards the Charleston and Savannah communities. So, yep, definitely need the rain gear if you're going to be out and about, not just on this weekend, but heading into Monday as the first full week of the month arrives. And yet, we're going to keep temperatures running just somewhat average. We're talking another round of low to mid 80s across both central and south Florida. And it looks like temperatures will start to remain a bit on the cool side for the Mississippi Valley, as numbers will range yet anywhere from the upper 60s and into the low, if not mid 70s. For I-20 between Jackson, stretching off towards the far east to go into the western side of South Carolina. Again, thanks to all this rain that will start to build up as Monday progresses. All right, now this is on Tuesday of next week, October 7th, and yet still more and more wet weather remains for the state, as we'll keep the coverage yet at around 60%, with elevated chances yet up in the Mississippi Valley, and that's at about 50%, we'll say for now. And yet, temperatures looks to be a little bit above average, but still in a summer average way. And we're talking numbers anywhere hanging around anywhere from the upper 80s and into the lower 90s for I-10 and south towards our direction. And then you got temperatures yet remaining a little bit cooler in the 70s and lower 80s for Birmingham and stretching off towards the far east you go into the Peach State of Georgia and also for portions of South Carolina. And it appears the rain chances for next Wednesday will start to wind things down a bit with the better coverage this time pushing a little eastward into Interstate 95 from Jacksonville down south towards the Keys region. We'll say at 40%, and that could be the same case to up here also for portions of Mississippi, Alabama, Georgia, and as far east you go towards the Charleston communities. And yet, we're talking temperatures remaining average in the 80s and into the lower 90s across the state, with perhaps temperatures warming up as high as the mid 90s. And that includes areas like Jackson to Biloxi, and we'll say for the northeastern portions of Louisiana. And then you also have temperatures hanging in the middle to upper 80s for Alabama and points eastward again as far as South Carolina goes, if that's right. All right, and this is a week from tomorrow, Thursday, October 9th, and yet the better chances to see any rain will be mostly along the east coast of the state, from Flagler down into the Keys regions. Again, with the rain chance staying at about 30 to 40%. Looks like the west side and the northwest side of the state tends to be mostly drying out as we head into next Thursday, and it seems that a new system may form up in the north that could bring some more unsettled weather in the Mississippi Valley, and that could bring a potential cold front. So that's something we'll be watching in the next coming days, or perhaps within a week or so. So I'll keep you guys posted. But for now, we're going to keep temperatures yet running in an average summer pattern with numbers ranging anywhere from the upper 80s and into the lower 90s. And yet, with that system in the front moving in towards Interstate 20, that will start to drop temperatures anywhere from the 70s and into the lower 80s. So we'll see again how that could play out. But let's check the low temperatures here for the first half of next Friday, October 10th, and it shows a bit of a cool start to the day with the front moving in with lows in the 50s and 60s in the Mississippi Valley. But way ahead of that, we'll see temperatures beginning off as usual in the low to mid 70s in central Florida. But yet, more on and off showers and storms could continue heading into the end of next week, but remaining elevated, we'll say, at about 50%, with a much better chance as the system moves in towards the coastline of Savannah and Charleston, if that's right. And looky there, we're talking temperatures once the front moves in towards the as far as the east coast of South Carolina and Georgia in the upper 60s and into the low, if not mid 70s. So how about that if you're looking for some nice, refreshing fall-like conditions? But looks like once the front gets closer to Florida, it seems that temperatures will start to slowly drop in the mid 80s as we head into Friday the 10th. So again, we'll see how that goes, but that can easily change as we get closer. Now, here is Saturday, October 11th. I believe that's the start of the Columbus Day weekend, and it looks like we'll see more on and off showers and storms, with the rain chance yet staying elevated at about 40 to a 50% coverage, leaving with some dry air moving in towards the eastern side of Alabama on towards South Carolina. I believe that's related to behind the cold front, if that's true. And sure enough, we'll keep temperatures yet running in the middle to upper 70s for Georgia and up towards the Carolinas, with highs for us a little bit warmer, but not bad, in the low to mid 80s. But if we can check the low temperatures for the first half of the 11th, then it shows yet a much cooler start up into Georgia and South Carolina, where numbers will start off in the low to mid 50s. So talking some jacket weather. Yet, if the trend is correct, with perhaps low temperatures for us looking to stay mild, no change there, where you have low to mid 70s. And you got some 60s up here also for potential low temperatures for I-10 and north towards Mississippi and for the western half of Alabama. Alrighty, this is the land of voodoo country. This takes you into Sunday, October 12th, and it shows yet some more showers, if not maybe a few thunder showers along the east side of the state, keeping the coverage at about 40%. And it seems that the mostly dry air will stick around for the northern side of the state up into Alabama and points on towards the east into the western side of South Carolina. And we're going to keep temperatures yet running close to average in the low to mid 80s around central Florida, with temperatures starting to warm things up slightly above normal up along I-10 and north, with upper 80s and into the lower 90s, which includes Pensacola, Panama City, Birmingham, Montgomery, Jackson, you name it. All right, and this is for Columbus Day, Monday, October 13th, and it shows most of our state turning out to be mostly dry, but there might be a few coastal showers yet for the east side of the state from St. Johns County down into Brevard Counties, keeping the coverage for now at about 20%, but there is a new system up here that will start to bring some unsettled weather yet again for the Mississippi Valley, and that could be ahead of another cold front we'll have to watch too, but since that we're 2 weeks out, that can easily change as we get closer to the middle part of the month. And ahead of that same front, the new one, that is, we're going to keep temperatures yet running a bit warmer, but average in the mid 80s across central Florida. But once the new system and the cold front moves in towards the Mississippi Valley, that will start to drop temperatures in the upper 60s and low 70s as the holiday kicks in. And then you got low temperatures by the first half of the 14th, beginning off not significantly cooler, at least for now, as far as I'm seeing. It shows pretty much in the low to mid 60s to begin with for portions of central Alabama and onto the central Mississippi. But here, though, for central Florida, it seems that temperatures will begin off yet on the mild side, but slightly cooler, and that's pretty much in the upper 60s and into the lower 70s range, as you can see here on the latest long-range GFS model run. And this is the second half of the day on the 14th, and it shows the same system pushing a little southward towards I-10 and maybe as close towards the eastern side of Florida. And if that's right, the rain chances for the East Coast will be mostly staying at about 30 to a 40% coverage. And it looks like there might be a new tropical mischief trying to move in towards the northern Caribbean islands and perhaps for the offshore from the East Coast of the Bahamas region. So that's something we could watch too. But yet, it's just way too soon to know at this point. And it looks like we'll keep temperatures yet running where we should be for this time of year in October, and that is yet upper 70s and low to mid 80s, with upper 70s and lower 80s for high temperatures too in the Mississippi Valley region. And it seems the mischief will start to make a sharp right turn to the north and northeast as it keeps us away from Florida. So instead, we'll see mostly just another batch of showers and a few thunderstorms for the peninsula side of the state heading into the day on the 15th, with some dry air moving in from the north to south. But for the valley, which is right up here, and yet temperatures looks to stay quite normal in the low to mid 80s for the state, with perhaps some 70s and lower 80s also for high temperatures in the Mississippi Valley region. And just looking at the low temperature map here for the first half of the 15th, and it shows yet a bit of a cool start for parts of Georgia and South Carolina, where it indicates some 50s and low 60s to begin with. And then for us here in our market, we're talking low temperatures beginning off a little bit warmer in the low to mid 70s and a bit cooler north, where you have some 60s for the panhandle up into southeastern portions of Alabama into southern Georgia. All right, now this is Thursday, October 16th, and it shows the mist just starting to make a bit of a northwesterly turn again, but still staying away from our state. And if that's the case, some of that moisture from that mischief could bring maybe a few more showers for the east side of the state of Florida, with dry air yet sticking into Mississippi, the Mississippi Valley, that is, down into the northwestern side of Florida. And as we do check the high temperatures, it looks like we'll stay yet where we should be in the 70s and into the low, if not mid 80s, with upper 70s and lower 80s also for high temperatures in the Mississippi Valley and for the panhandle side of the state. And yet another cool start with some 50s and 60s to begin with for the panhandle, and perhaps that could also be the case for eastern Alabama onto South Carolina. And that could be related to another front moving in too, so we'll see how that goes. And if that's right, we could see low temperatures beginning off as cool as the low to mid 60s to begin with for the west side of the state, up into as far as Jacksonville. Again, something to watch, but that can change. And then last but not least, this is on Friday, October 17th, and it shows this mischief over here, yet pushing a little bit northward, but still remaining offshore from Florida, and so far for right now, off of the east coast of the Carolinas. But yet, with some of that moisture from that mischief, that could still bring in some more coastal showers for Interstate 95 from Jacksonville down south towards the Keys region. And yet, nothing much there for the valley and the panhandle as the weather continues to stay fairly quiet, if that's right. And as of right now, we'll keep temperatures yet running a little bit below average, but still mild at times, where we could see some upper 70s and into the lower 80s for central up into northern Florida and the Mississippi Valley region. But if you go down towards the deep southern part of the state, looks like numbers will start to range back into a summer average pattern where it shows anywhere from the upper 80s and into the lower 90s range from Naples stretching off towards the east near Miami and the Fort Lauderdale communities, if that's true. So there you pretty much have it there, folks. So what I'm going to do right now is go ahead and sign out of Facebook Live on this Wednesday evening, and I hope to have the next update right back here tomorrow night. And as usual, I'll continue to post more notes or updates on my blog and social media platforms 24/7. In the meantime, please continue to stay safe by taking care of yourselves and each other, and God bless.